Good evening and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 21, and I'm continuing stories from the life of Buddha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama had left his clan, the prince of the Shakya clan, the one who would inherit a kingdom and be a ruler of the world, had left it all behind. He stayed with the two most enlightened masters of the time, found no release from old age, death, and sickness. He practiced austerities, just crazy things, sitting in full lotus for days, weeks, and months, standing on one leg for similarly long times. He would stand between two fires that he had built, basically roasting his body in the heat and remaining unmoved. And he would climb high into the mountains and sit naked on the coldest, most bitter night. Still no release. His body was gone, skin and bones, tendons, veins. Oh, such a sight to see him. His hair had fallen out. He was so devoid of nourishment. Finally, as they entered a village, his followers holding him up, supporting him as they went into this village. He couldn't go any further and he collapsed. A small little grassy area. He lay there, and he began to think to himself that all this effort that he had put into his austerities had brought him nowhere. 6 years. He had left when he was 29 years old, and now he's 35 years old, and none of it has brought him anywhere closer to enlightenment. Thoughts begin to pour through his mind. As he's laying there, a vision comes to him. It's a memory of a festival day long ago. He was a child, 6 years old, 5 years old, and his father was out plowing the fields with all sorts of men, dignitaries, common men. They were plowing the earth together for this festival and joyous in the process. Everybody celebrating the fertility of the earth. He remembers as the plow cut through the ground and threw it up upon itself like a wave. As it did so, there was the snapping of roots and, the destruction, the death of many creatures that lived within the soil. Birds were diving down, eating the cut worms and grubs and insects that scurried out of the earth. He thought it odd, the joy and celebration in the midst of all this chaos and destruction, all this death. He was sitting in the shade of a rose apple tree. If you've ever been near a rose apple tree, you'll know that the scent is amazing. It smells like roses. As he's sitting there, cross-legged, watching all these things for him, he dropped into a blissful state of samadhi. And this memory is now pouring through his consciousness, pouring through his mind. He remembers. And the realization comes to him that that experience of samadhi, that experience of bliss, it came to him when he was a mere child, when he was well-fed, clothed, and living a peaceful existence. Why then should he think that through austerities and creating pain for the body, he would gain a state of enlightenment? He decided then and there that he would take nourishment and attempt to rebuild his body. And we'll stop the story there and find out what miracle takes place. Okay, thanks for joining. Have a good rest of your day or evening.